Hello everybody and welcome back to Cool Quotes Dark Souls Let's Play. In this one we're going to actually access a new area that I wasn't originally intending to go to. I mean, when you guys watch this you're probably going to be looking at it like, well, why didn't you go up into the parish and fight the gargoyles? I don't know. When I was just playing the game I just kind of went through and I just figured, hey, you know what? I'm back at Firelink, I got the elevator working. Let's go back to Undead Asylum and see what nice loot we can find. I think it was a pretty good idea. I mean, I did fairly okay. But anyway, the Firekeeper soul that we got last time, now's a really good time to reinforce it. You know, now that we found the shortcut, which is very convenient. I mean, I'm pretty sure they locate that the Firekeeper soul right near the Firekeeper on purpose. So that way, once you get it, you can just go back down to Firelink Shrine, turn it in, and you know, this is probably the first official upgrade for the Estus Flask in the game that you're supposed to run into. I mean, I cheated a little bit by finding the new Londo one first. Now I can't actually get heal, which I was planning to do originally because I have too few souls at the moment. But I will get that on the way back from Undead Asylum, I think. Hopefully I'll remember to save enough souls to do so. So anyway, the trick to get here, to get to the next area, is to actually run forward off the elevator onto this little ledge. When you come around the corner, you see that item over there? You're going to actually need that for the Undead Asylum when we go back. But come around the corner here, you look over and you have to actually roll to that pillar, and I don't. Okay, that was fun. Well, let's try that again. Alright, using the power of editing, we are now back. And we will head back over to the cliff, and this time we will roll that little edge. It's actually not as hard as it probably looked with missing the first time. I just forgot to hit the roll button in time. Alright, so anyway, you're going to head up this little staircase up the side here. And when you get to the top, or when you get here, to this little section here, you're not going to follow the staircase any further. You're actually going to roll onto the top of this roof, and you're going to snag that. That's going to allow us to basically just get one item when we go back to the Undead Asylum, but it's definitely worth getting. Might as well not waste it. And I apparently forgot to get this last time, so I'll grab it now. It's a Soul of the Lost Undead. Alright, so back up to the cliff, and roll across. And you're going to see, you know, I'm 2 for 3 on this, so it's not really that bad. You'll get it pretty quick. Now this time we're actually going to go all the way up to the top. And there's going to be a crow's nest there for Snuggly the Crow. And if you actually curl up into a ball in that nest, he will take you back to the Undead Asylum. You do have to wait for a while, but I'm going to speed it up so it looks like he picks me up like right away. You know, for your convenience. Your first thought might be like, whoa, look at all the new enemies. These guys kind of hit hard. They're basically the same as normal hollows, but they do way more damage because of their little torches here. But especially if you have the Drake Sword, but most weapons, even, you know, partially upgraded at this point in the game, you can take them out with a hit. So it's no big deal. Just shield and then attack. Shield and then attack. And you'll knock them down pretty easy. Now in this room, the biggest thing you have to know that's different than last time is do not run straight across it. You'll actually trigger the boss if you run straight across this room. You have to go on the outskirts here, inside the pillars. And watch out, there's a couple hollows, but the only real risk is you not seeing them. So yeah, where that hollow is, don't run over there. Stay on the outside where the pots are. And go around to get to the bonfire. Now, the first place I'm going to head is actually back to where you start the game in the little jail cell. There's actually a Black Knight who guards an item that lets us access another optional area of the game called the Painted World of Ariamis. I'll probably do that later after we get to Anne Orlando and probably after we fight Ornstein and Smo. But maybe before. I haven't decided yet. But that area has a lot of really cool stuff and a lot of, a lot of decent soul. You can get a lot of good souls from that. There's a couple mini bosses, a lot of enemies that are easy to farm. You can throw down your summon sign in there pretty easily and get some good action to run people to the boss. The boss is easy, so you can take out the boss a bunch of times real quick. Yeah, it's a pretty good area that you can't actually get to unless you come back to the Undead Asylum. So I kind of like that system. It's kind of like Metroidvania-ish. You can't get to the other optional area unless you get to this optional area. So anyway, I screw up a bunch of times against this Black Knight at the beginning, but from here on out in the fight, I should do fairly well. If I remember correctly, it'll be semi-good instructions for how to beat these guys, especially if you get new players. Basically, if you need to heal, you can bait them into doing that little double move by running in and running back out, and then just circle around them for backstabs. I wouldn't actually recommend rolling backwards the way I just did there. Most of the time, that'll actually hit you anyway, but for the most part, my little run against this Black Knight here hasn't been too bad. So yeah, just run around. Don't hit him more than once. Don't waste all your stamina, especially if you don't have that much endurance. Try not to hit his shield as much as I do, and circle around if you get a chance for backstabs. It's tough in the little corridor to actually get a clear view of the backstab, but definitely worth it. Now, that's actually disappointing. The last couple times I've played through this game, that guy has dropped the Black Knight Greatsword. No, sorry, the Black Knight... So I think it's just the Black Knight Sword, not the Greatsword. But anyway, it's like a pretty sick weapon. It has 220 attack, and it takes 20 strength and 18 dexterity to wield. I don't have those stats yet, but I will pretty soon, and I definitely would have gone towards them if I had gotten the weapon. It's pretty good for a strength build weapon. It's a slow weapon, but it does really decent damage. And for this early in the game, it's just OP. Honestly, I mean, it's tough to upgrade. I wouldn't necessarily upgrade it because you need Twinkling Titanite. There's probably better weapons to upgrade, like the Black Knight Halberd or something if you're in a strength build, but just having it plain, no upgrades at all, is better than the Drake Sword, definitely. Does a lot more damage, and it just looks cool having it over your shoulder. Alright, so anyway, this time we're going to head up the stairs here. And I'm actually not going to run all the way in here, but I'm just going to aggro this guy, because I like to have a little space to fight him. He's the knight who gives you the Estus Flasks. He has gone hollow. He is completely batshit crazy. And he's actually kind of tough, so I'd definitely recommend bringing him out into this little area here. You get a lot of space. Getting a backstab on this guy is a real pain in the ass, and doing a little counter attack strategy doesn't always work either, because sometimes he's good at countering you. Plus, he'll kick your shield away sometimes too, like he just did there. If you're really good at parrying, this would be a good place to try to parry. I didn't want to risk it here. I was afraid that he would just like kill me in like 2 shots. But if you want to risk it, you can do a lot of damage to this guy with parries, and take him out pretty easily if you have good timing. Basically, if you have to heal, I would probably wait until you get either a backstab or a parry riposte, because he doesn't give you a lot of time to heal. Your best chance is like, when he's on the ground. Now you're gonna see I actually used the Drake stun there. I was trying to kill him with the 2-handed special attack, failed to do so, and got hit in the face a little bit, but I kill him anyway. So no big, it's not that hard. You just be patient with him, and he drops an awesome item. I believe it's the Crest Shield, and the Crest Shield has extremely high magic resistance. You're going to need that for a boss called the Moonlight Butterfly, and not only does it have good magic resistance, I'm pretty sure it's 100% physical damage resistance. which means that it's actually a pretty badass shield. The stability's not great. I wouldn't fight like a big guy with it, but if you're up against a guy that uses magic attacks, it's your bread and butter. It's the perfect shield for you. Now you can actually head down here. This is, back where we were before. The enemies up here are actually, I'm pretty sure, exactly the same. And with the Drake Sword, it's just a joke. I mean, you don't even have to hit these guys twice. And this is actually a really fun thing to do, especially if you come here even later than I did. I mean, I'm only soul level like 15 or something. If you come here like soul level 20, a little later after you fight the gargoyles, beat a few other areas, like this area is just so easy, and you just feel like such a badass because you're fighting all these enemies you fought before. Maybe you had trouble with them before, and you're just like throwing them down like fireballs and crushing them with your upgraded weapons, one hit. And just laughing at how, like, you used to be bad at this game. Alright, so anyway, you come in here. And this is the door that you actually open with that key you found on top of the house. There's only one item in here that's really worthwhile, but it'll help a lot in two specific areas that I can think of off the top of my head. The Rusted Iron Ring, what it does is when you're walking through an area with water, an area where you have to wade, it makes it from you going slow to you not having any movement resistance at all. It's like walking normal. So the two instances I can think of, or I guess three, when you're fighting the Hydras, the main Hydra that I was thinking of originally was in the Dark Root Basin, but there's also another one in Ash Lake, and being able to run around in the water to fight its heads is extremely, extremely useful, and I'm pretty sure it's almost impossible to kill the guy without range attacks if you don't have that ring. The other thing is in Blighttown, because the entire swamp area of Blighttown, which you're going to get poisoned, but pretty much poisoned in no matter what anyway, is just all swamp and muck, and using that ring to get through it just saves a lot of time, especially if you die on the boss. You gotta run back to him. Alright, so anyway, this time I am going to aggro the boss, and you're gonna watch me attempt to fight him very poorly, at least the first couple times. So, walk forward. I believe I'm going to wave to you guys, yeah. This is exactly where you should stay before you started. Get ready, drink your Estus. Now, usually you pop an Estus right here, and I waited a little too long. It proved to pretty much be my downfall, because he hit me there. But I somehow ended up behind him, which was kind of like my saving grace, because I didn't die somehow. So anyway, the trick to this fight is don't lock on, just run around him, run behind him, and when he does that little blast attack, the glass in front of him, that's when you hit him. Now, this guy is probably one of the biggest pains in the asses of any boss that I've ever played, because not only does he do that blast attack in front of him, but he does the blast attack behind him as well, just a little bit. So there's like a very, very tight window that you have to hit him in. And you basically have to play this match perfect, because if he hits you with any of those attacks, he's just going to turn around and either hit you with his club or do that and sit on you and just kill you in one hit. So, when you fight this guy, you do have to be fairly perfect. You're going to see another couple failed attempts here, and basically this just shows a testament to making sure that you don't fuck up the very beginning of the fight. What you're going to want to do is land as far away from this guy as possible, and immediately drink an Estus to go back up to full health from the fall damage. Right after regaining that health, you should be booking it to his right side, or to your right, his left. Like I'm going to try to do here, I actually get hit by his club, but most of the time you're not going to get hit by the club like I just did. If you jump a little closer to him and roll, you'll go under his club, and then you'll end up behind him at full health and be able to start the fight. I believe this is the fight that I actually beat him, and I'm going to let you watch the kill footage, but I'm probably going to give you some strategic pointers at the same time. So you pop an Estus, run jump, see he misses you, and now you are in prime real estate to start get this guy in the ass. This guy has, like, a couple moves, one of which is that attack I just described to you, one of which is this float move, where you got to avoid both him and his hammer. If his hammer falls on you, then you're probably going to die. So if you notice, I actually run a little farther out, and not just directly around him, and then run back in. And then he does this little thing. He's going to shoot it. As soon as you see that thing disappear, attack him, then run back. I wouldn't try to get more than 2 hits in here. You know, he doesn't give you a lot of time. And do not let yourself stay in front of him. If he hits you with that area of effect attack, it's pretty much over. You're not going to be able to get back behind him. It's very unlikely. Yes, he actually got hit by the hammer there. I didn't die, luckily, but I did get hit. Now you'll notice I'm only doing like 85 damage to this guy per hit, and I have like the Drake Sword, which is like one-shotting everybody else. I don't think that this area necessarily, like that you were meant to get here as fast as I did. Maybe it's kind of expecting that you'd die a bunch of times with this guy. If you did get back here early, then give up and come back later when you have like boss weapons and like, you know, you're just rocking like, you know, sick gear, and you can just kill this guy in like a few hits, do like 300 damage a hit. But like, this boss is extremely easy to fight at low soul level, like I am right now. It's level 15. I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple guys on Let's Plays and elsewhere beat this guy like soul level 10, soul level 8, stuff like that. He's easy. You can beat him on soul level 1 if you're good. Because there really is no way for him to hit you if you react perfectly. It's not like, there's not very much that involves chance in this fight. Sometimes he is an asshole. He will back up against a wall and stuff like that, and that makes it very difficult for you to get to him. And if that happens, I'm sorry. But for the most part, you're just going to want to try to keep him in the middle. Like I'm doing right now. You just kind of stay somewhat in the middle, let him keep attacking a wall. Try to attack the little tail. You can run up right up to his ass or his legs and fight him too, but if you're right at the tail, you're basically out of range of his area of effect attack, even when you're attacking him. Like you're like right on the edge of the range. So if you want to protect yourself from potentially getting hit by the area of effect attack from behind while you're actually behind him, just try to hit the little bony looking tail here. I mean, you could go right up the demon's ass if you want, but I mean, you're more likely to hit him that way, I guess. You know, it's more definite. But either way, I wouldn't hit him more than twice in a row. It gives you a little time to run behind him if he turns. You know, if you try to get him any more than that, get a little greedy, that's when mistakes happen. If you noticed, like when I got crushed in that first take, it was because I went for a 3-strike hit, and he did the little float attack, and I didn't have time to move. He landed right on top of me. You see, I run right outside, and then I run back in. I wouldn't run away like I just did there, but I would run out when you're running around him, as opposed to just running in a direct circle. Basically, this fight just takes patience. So, as you can expect, the first couple times I played this guy, I lost poorly. And that's not even just talking about the 4 takes that I did like before this that you just saw me die. I'm talking about like the first time I played this game. I think I died like 10 times to this guy at least before I even had any idea how to beat him. Like I jumped down, he used like the area of effect attack, and no matter how far away I was in this room, you could not get away from it. But yeah, this is definitely the hardest of the demon bosses. There are 3 demon bosses that are exactly like this guy. The first one is the Asylum demon. His area of effect attack doesn't really hit anything except stuff directly in front of him. And as you saw, you can kill him wicked fast, even with like the starter weapons like I did in the first or second episode of this Let's Play. Then you're gonna get this guy, who is just a complete beast. He has so much HP, and no matter where you are in this room, that area of effect is pretty much gonna hit you. And then the last one is actually in the very, very far stage of this game, after you get the Lord Vessel, and you're in Lost Izalith, or heading towards Lost Izalith through the Demon Ruins. You fight a guy named the Demon Fire Sage, and you can actually block, if you have a fire-resistant shield, you can like block most of the damage from his area of effect attack, and it won't knock you down or stagger you. So it's actually not that hard to beat that guy, especially compared to this guy. Like, besides, once you get the tactics for this guy down, Demon Fire Sage is a piece of cake. So Alright, you know, victory. Can't complain. Get a homeward bone and a humanity, and I believe this is a sweet upgrade stone. Titanite slab. That's pretty tough to find. I forget actually where those are farmed. So if anyone knows, feel free to comment or let me know. But, yeah, those are for, like, way higher upgrade stuff than we have right now. I can't do anything with Titanite slabs. None of my equipment is even remotely at that level. But those are, all I know is those are very tough to get. Those are very tough to farm. And very valuable, so don't do anything stupid like selling them to Framp the Primordial Serpent or anything like that. By the way, that guy is an asshole, but that's a story for another time, which we'll probably go into once we actually get the Lord Vessel and go to Anor Londo. But yeah, pretty much that's all you really need to see from the Undead Asylum here. That's the last time we're going to come back here, if I remember right. I think we've gotten pretty much everything there is to get. I'm going to upgrade here, pop a few more into strength. You know, just some basic upgrades. I got to remember to leave at least 4,000 souls for the heal spell, and I believe I do. Yeah, 4,057. I don't think I'm going to upgrade anymore. I think that's it. So yeah, add a few vitality, a few endurance, and bring my strength up to 18. I'm going to try to get it up to like 24 so I can start using the Zweihonder or the Zweihonder or however you... I think it's Zweihonder. But anyway, that's it. All you do to get out of here is run back up here to the crow's nest and crouch again, and Snuggly the Crow will take you back to his nest in Firelink Shrine. So, I'm going to let you watch a little cutscene as we fade away, and that's going to be it for this episode of Dark Souls. So I'll see you next time, and we'll head back up to fight the gargoyles. See you later.